Hi guys, right, so today's project is going to be paper mache again, but it's going to be something slightly different, alright, and again something the kids can get involved with. It takes a couple of days to do because you need to leave it to dry in different stages. I've tried to do it with things that you may have hanging around the house. My final version is using some crafty things, but I will give you some top tips of other things you can do along the way, so don't panic guys. This is something that's really easy to do. The kids are going to love it. All you need is a balloon to start with and lots of newspaper, alright, and then eventually you'll need some paint, which you can use household paint or crafting paint, whatever you've got in the house, alright. So guys, sit back, get yourself a cup of tea, and let me show you what I'm going to do. Okay. Right, so I've got my balloon and I'm just going to draw the opening of my bird's nest onto the balloon, which I don't think Lola likes. You can hear her crying behind me. Doesn't have to be too precise because we can cut the shape when it's finished, okay? But it will help us when we start doing this next bit. So I've got loads of newspaper here and I've got some glue, which is 2 parts of school, just PVA glue, I'll move that over here, and then 1 part water, just to water it down. So I'm just going to pop some on the balloon to begin with, just around where the opening is going to be, and I'm just going to pop paper onto the balloon, directly like that, and I'm going to put small pieces all the way around, because what I want to do is try and keep the opening so I don't have to cut too much when it's all done, okay? If you spend more time doing this now, you'll have to spend less time shaping it later. The method to my madness. I've got it on a plastic tray because it's less sticky than sticking it on, say, another piece of newspaper or cardboard. It doesn't tend to stick as much. Okay, I'm not sticking it all down completely, I just want to get the shape first. Alright, then I'll worry about the rest of the balloon later. It's got a world of its own, a life of its own. Once you start putting the paper on, it gets heavy, so where the paper is, it sort of gravitates towards. So let me just... should have cut these small pieces beforehand, but I didn't. Okay, right, so I've got my first layer around my circle, so I'm just going to glue over that now, just so all the bits stick down. If it slides away, just push it back. Just be careful not to burst your balloon. Okay, right, now what I need to do is cover the whole of this balloon, and the more layers you can put on, the better, because you get a more sturdy nest at the end of it. So I will show you this when I've finished. Right, so I've put a couple of coats on this now, but it's getting really sticky and it gets to a point where you end up pulling off what you've stuck on. So what I'm going to do is, I've got some string here, I'm just going to pop it around the tie of the balloon, okay, and I'm going to hang this overnight to dry, and then what I'll do tomorrow is I will hang, sorry, I won't hang, I will glue more onto it. But the trouble is, if you try and do it all in one go, it is really difficult, so the paper just sticks and you want it to look half decent. So I'll hang this up in my garage and we'll finish it off tomorrow. Right, so this dried overnight and I need to now build it up even more because otherwise it won't be as stable as I want it to. So all I'm going to do now is put another layer on it and then I will leave it to dry overnight again and we'll come back to it. All right. Right, just before I put it in the garage, I have actually put a few more coats of decoupage on it, but what I'm going to do is I've got some kitchen roll, and yes, I know it's probably a bit decadent in this world where you can't get toilet papers, but you can get kitchen roll at least in most supermarkets. But I'm just going to get a couple of sheets and add it to the outside, just because I think when I come to paint it, it's going to give it a nice effect, because obviously the pattern of the kitchen roll will come through onto the paint itself. So I'm just going to give it a layer, just one layer. So I don't need to use masses of kitchen roll, and then I will hang it to dry, as I said. Okay. Right, so here is my balloon hanging up in my garage, just hanging it off the mechanism for the garage door. And I don't know if you can see there what I've done with the paper towel. So I'm hoping that when it dries and I start to paint it, it's going to give it a much nicer effect. Now obviously I could hang that as an ornament, or I could have it on a stand, and I'm going to choose to have it on a stand. So what I need to do now is go and make the stand. So let's go and do that. Right, so the stand is going to be so simple. So I've got a toilet roll here, which I'm just going to cut in half. I don't want it too high. Oops. It says. That's so simple. And yeah, I can't cut a toilet roll. There we go. Okay. Make sure it's straight. So I'm just going to flatten it. Keep it even. There we go. So that's the base there. Okay. Oops. Make sure it's flat on the top. Okay. And then with the bit of cut off, I'm just going to cut around it with my pencil. Oops. Okay. Okay, and then with my sellotape, which I had earlier and I put back, I'm just going to tape that onto the bottom, just to give it a flat base. Oops. Okay, this is where you can see how badly you cut it, and just trim it if you need to. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it, just to blend it in with the rest of it. Right, okay, I don't know if you can see that. So that's now covered. So I'm going to leave that to dry overnight, and then we'll start painting tomorrow. Right, so this has dried overnight in the garage, and I'm really pleased with the effect from the kitchen paper. If you can see that, I think it's lovely. Yes, my dogs are eating again. They are both eating, so I can't blame one more than the other. So this is the moment of truth. Is it going to hold together? So I've got some scissors. I'm just going to cut the top of the balloon very carefully. And what should happen is the balloon should deflate, hopefully, she says, and pull away from what I'm going to do is put a hole in here as well. Okay. So it doesn't cave in on me. I'm just going to pull that out. Okay. If it has come in any places, just use your hand and just push it in. Now what you'll find is the inside might not have dried even, as well as the outside, and that's because of the plastic, also the rubber of the balloon, okay? But it's not the end of the world, because so what we can do is get the hairdryer in there, or we could leave it overnight again. Now I want to get on and start painting this now, so I'm going to get my hairdryer onto this. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is just trim my edges, you know where it went over a little bit, just so that the opening is neat. Just get a little pair of scissors. Can't believe my dogs are eating like they are again. Seriously, I don't feed them just once a day when I'm videoing. So, can you see? So we get the hairdryer on it and then we can start painting. The stand has dried as well, so I'm pleased with that. I will just take out my balloon quickly. Now, if you were going to use this to hang, you've automatically got a hole at the top to do that with. So what I'm going to do now then is just quickly get the hairdryer on this and we'll come back and start painting. Right, so that is really dry now. Now I have decided, now I've dried it and looked at it, that actually where the hole is going to be my top. That's where I'm having a drink now. But it's not going to end well because I'm going to pop a ribbon on top of that so you won't see it. But I just think when you look at it like that, the shape looks better than like that. So anyway, as I said on my last video, if you haven't got normal paint for kids or whatever, then and you've got some leftover emulsion in your garage, use it. This is what I'm going to be doing here. So this is Magnolia that the builders left for me, which I no longer need. So all I'm going to do is pop it on and just paint it. Now don't forget, when you've done this, you do need to paint the inside of your shape as well. So your egg. Is it an egg or is it a nest? I think I'm going to call it a nest rather than an egg actually. Now I don't know if you can see a pattern from the kitchen roll. It's just lovely and it just reminds me more of an egg than had it just been plain. You do have to work the paint in more because obviously with the pattern, but I absolutely think it's worth it. So what I'll do is I'll go away and get this painted and I will show it you when it's all done. Okay. Right, so they are all painted inside and out. I have put the hairdryer on them just to dry them as much as I possibly can, but I do now want to leave it to air dry for about an hour. So I'm going to pop it with the opening underneath like that, okay? But I've got it on a little tray, so I'm going to put something so it's half over just so the air still gets inside it, and then I will come back when it's dry and we can decorate it, okay? Right, okay, so here is my egg or my nest, whichever you want to do, and I want to show you some variations of decorating it. Some are more simple, some you may have around the house, some you don't. So let me show you the first one. So I've got these flowers I got from the Poundland a few months ago. You can use any dry flowers you want really, and just pop them in like so, okay? And then where the hole is at the top, just got a little flower here. You can see that, which I've just made a big yellow bow on. I'm just going to pop that on, and there we go. Don't know if you can see that. We'll just put that ribbon there. So that is just a really simple decoration. Sorry about the mess behind. We will get rid of all that for you. So that's one simple way of doing it, okay? So let's try another way. Right, so let's go for another option, and this requires what we call Spanish moss. Now if you haven't got Spanish moss, what you can do is go to your garden, okay, and just collect some old branches. I'm going to use a bit of both actually. These are just plants that died in the winter, so I just picked out the twigs. Or if you're going for a walk with your family, then you might find lots of branches of trees that are blown down. So grab a few of those. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to fill the bottom of my egg with this Spanish moss, and I got this from Poundland. It's in the Easter section. Okay. There we go. It does make a mess. So, okay. And then I'm just going to throw in some of my sticks. Okay. Just willy-nilly, like so. Let's say if you haven't got the Spanish moss, just throwing in the sticks does the same job, okay? Can you see inside there now? If it's light enough for you. There you go. Right. Okay, so that's your base. And there's two things I'm going to do, both of them using that base. So I saved up some old eggshells recently. I've just washed them out and let them to dry. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these inside my eggshell, but what I'm going to do is pop in a little chick. So these are from Poundland, but say Tesco's, Sainsbury's all have them. Can you see? So it just looks like they have cracked out of their eggs. you go. And you remember my little ribbon from before? Again, oops, I'm just trying to think. You can glue these in if you want to. The reason I'm not gluing it is because this isn't going to be my final version, okay? So again, where's my little ribbon that I had earlier? And my little flower. Here it is. And I think that would still look absolutely lovely. Like that. Can you see that? Okay, and then you've got your little chicks inside, which I think is really, really sweet. Okay. And you can put in as many chicks as you want, really. Now, let me just excuse my arm. When I was in Aldi recently, they had these for £2.99 for 6, and they are beautiful. I mean, they look so authentic. Just look at that. Aren't they just stunning? And I thought, actually, these would be perfect for in this. So I've got my sticks here. Let me just take out my eggshells from there. Okay. And what I'm thinking of doing for mine is I'm just going to pop a little birdie. They come on clips onto the end there and stick that there like that. And then I have these lights which I got from Poundland a few weeks ago. Let me just get a birdie off a minute. And I just thought they would make a great decoration for this. So I'm going to pop these into here like so. Okay, I'm going to hide my battery pack just under here, but so I can get to the switch. All right. Okay. So there we go, and arrange my flowers in such a way that I can see them all. Sorry if my hands are getting in the way. I'm just going to take the twigs out and take some of these out because they're not glued in yet. What I want is for the string, the rope not to show, but the flowers to show. So let me just spend a bit of time doing that. Right, okay, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. My glue gun should be heating up. And I actually decided to make 2 bows, so the original one and a lighter yellow one. So I'm just going to take that out first of all and glue my first bow and just stick it over the hole. Okay, so I'm just going to allow that to hang down like that for a minute. And then the one I originally had, I'm just going to put some glue on that as well and stick that on top of the other one. Okay, so I'm just going to layer these 2 down like that, and then my little daisy, just going to hot glue that right in the middle there. I've got Spanish moss everywhere. Nightmare. Little daisies, and I thought they'd look really cute on the outside here, so I'm going to start gluing these on. Oops. Right, okay. So what do you think? I think it's looking really cute. Now, I did promise that these will be things you have lying around your house, and I appreciate you might not have these little flowers around your house. If you don't, then just cut them out of paper. Get yourself a little stencil either off the internet or just hand draw them, and then just cut them out and then colour the yellow in the middle. All right, so you can easily make it if you don't have these sort of things available to you. Okay, and the same as a little birdie. As I said, you don't need to use a little birdie if you want to use the little chicks inside an eggshell. And I think these look really, really cute. In fact, even though I'm not using these in this, I'm going to keep them as a bit of a display for Easter as well, and I am going to glue them in. There we go. Right, so I've just glued him on, and I think he'd make a great little ornament. So I'm going to make a little centerpiece around this, I think. So just pop him to one side for a second. Right, so this is my egg at the moment, and you've probably noticed I've had it on a glass jar just for stability while I was messing around and playing with it. But I'm thinking it's looking really, really cute. Now inside I have got space for another chick, I think, so I'm going to put another one in. Now, put it back onto there for a second. My DIY, Kathy, this is what I said to you when I said I'd bought something the other week that you're going to love. And I know she will definitely love these little birds. So I'm just going to pop that one inside, just in there as well, because I think that looks absolutely adorable. I'm going to show you inside. Look. It's so cute, absolutely cute. Now I need to put it on a stand, and you know I made this yesterday to go with it. Look at the mess here. But it doesn't look very attractive compared to this, does it? So we need to make this more attractive. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is actually glue some ribbon to it, okay? Okay, if you don't have any ribbon at home, coloured card works perfectly well for this, alright? And then all I'm going to do is pop some of my daisies, if I can get rid of my moss around like this, just so it finishes it off to match. Alright, so I've just measured it, I'm going to cut it off, and then I'm just going to glue it on. Again, if you don't have this, cut it out of paper. Alright, don't need to necessarily have these daisies available at home. Okay, so I now have a beautiful stand for my egg. So let me clean this up and I'll show it you properly, okay? What do you think? I think it's come out really, really cute, and now I can light it up. I can also have it as a little lamp as well, so I'm really looking forward to getting that out nearer to Easter. And you can also hang it, and I might actually eventually, if I can find somewhere to hang it from, that's the only thing I haven't got really in the house, I may actually just put some ribbon through the top as well and have it as a hanging decoration as well, so who knows. But I really wanted to try and show you something you could make with things you've got around the house. As I said, I did have those flowers, I did have those birds, but if you don't have those flowers, you don't have those birds, for the flowers just cut them out of paper and colour them in. And then from the bird's point of view, ditch the birds, get your eggshells and get some little chicks from Sainsbury's or Tesco's or any of the shops that you go to. If you go to Lidl and you see those birdies, then you've got to buy them. They're so beautiful, honestly, they are like real birds. It's just incredible. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. If you did, don't forget, subscribe, click notifications, give me a thumbs up. On my next video, I'm going to be doing some things with jars. So you better start saving your jam jars or your sauce jars or things like that. So, and again, it will be things that you've got around the house, alright? So an egg box would be useful too. Alright guys, so I'll see you in my next video, and I hope the isolation isn't driving you mad too much. Alright guys, see you soon. Bye. Bye.